Well, this afternoon I'm joined by Neil Blower, who's one of my constituents, who's got a very interesting story to tell this afternoon. Neil was in the army and has got involved in some incredible projects since he left the army. So Neil, I'm delighted that you could pop in today, and we had a good trip down to London recently to House Congress.
Did, yeah, for the debate, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, great stuff. Neil, perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about the last few years of your life, really, when you joined the army, what you did and what's been going on.
Well, I joined the army in 1999. I joined the Royal Tank Regiment, which obviously does the Challenger 2s. I did an operational tour of Kosovo in 2001, and then I was part of Optelic, which was the invasion of Iraq in 2003.
How old were you when you were in the invasion?
I was 20. I was 20 years old.
Goodness, so that's only a really young
only
age,
baby,
isn't it?
yeah,
A baby,
yeah.
And who was in your kind of squad that you went out with?
Oh.
In your tank?
Oh, yeah. Challenger 2 was a crew of 4. I was
Right.
the driver, the commander, the gunner. I was the gunner and the loader. It was just, it was very exciting at the start, with the build-up and everything else, because that was your job and that's what you trained for, and it was like, this is the real deal, this is, you know.
It's not just an exercise,
that's it,
yeah.
It's the real thing. And tragically our troop sergeant was killed in action. I think it was the first British soldier to be killed to enemy fire.
And what happened?
We was at a vehicle checkpoint and we came under attack, and he was shot and killed. Which had a profound effect on me, because it brought it home, the realities of war.
This wasn't just kind of
it's not
play acting, not a game. Yeah. So what did you do after that? Did you carry on kind of in the army doing your duties?
Yeah, I did probably about another 18 months after I came back from Iraq, and then I left, and it became apparent that because of my service in Iraq, I developed PTSD. Due to my service.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And how did that kind of show itself in your kind of day-to-day life?
Oh, just anger. Anger, sleepless nights. I never had flashbacks. But it just changed.
Were you on like a short fuse with your temper?
Oh yeah, I hate everybody.
Yeah, everybody when you were,
yeah. And then I just kind of got on with it without ever realising I had this condition. I just got on with my life, went from job to job.
What kind of work did you do?
I was in security for a long time,
Right.
Security guard at various places. And then in 2010 I decided to go to university.
What made you make that big shift?
The recession, funnily enough. My job at the time it disappeared because of the recession, cutbacks and everything else. And I went back down to being a guard.
Right.
And I just thought, well, I'm still young enough to change tack and change career, so I thought, right, go to university. But one of the things I got from the army, but when I left the army, a hobby was writing.
And what did you write? Did you write poems?
Everything. Poetry, short stories, novels, starts novels, scripts. It was a hobby for years. I've always been a big reader. I've always been a fan of TV and film, so I just thought, well, maybe I could one day do that. It was just a pipe dream for a long time.
Did you find that the writing helped you with how you were feeling after coming out of the army?
It did, yes. Not therapeutic as such, but it helps. It's very strange. I don't know why, but it does. I did that, and then that's what I went to study at university, creative writing and English literature.
How did you get in?
Oh.
Did you have any qualifications?
No, I didn't have anything. I had absolutely no qualifications, but because I was classed as a mature student, they said, the University of Salford, they said with mature students we take on a case-by-case basis, so I think it was the strength of my writing more than anything else.
So you showed them some of the things
that
you've done?
Because it's a creative kind of artistic the arts. Have you got a portfolio of work? I said, yes. Showed them, and they said yes to give me a place in the course. So I was chuffed a bit at that, because I was the first person in my family to ever go to university.
And that's like the university really believing in you, isn't it?
They were brilliant, fantastic. And then while I was there, I found out I was dyslexic.
As well?
Yeah,
Goodness.
I crashed and burned on my first ever assignment.
Right.
And the guy that marked it, because it's marked anonymously, and the guy who marked it said, maybe there's something not right with you, whatever, learning difficulties or whatever. So I was tested and I found out that, I had dyslexia.
So what did you do? Here you are, wanting a career in writing, and you find out you're dyslexic?
I was absolutely mortified. It was Eddie and Anne's job, and it was like, well... And I was like, well, you know what, it's nothing that spell check can't fix. And then, but it was going to university, it was being in an academic environment that made me realise there was something wrong from the army. Right. I was still getting angry and nightmares.
And it started to surface, did it then?
Yeah. And then I finally, after 6 years, picked up the phone to combat stress. Right. And it kind of all happened one after the other. I went to uni and found out I was dyslexic. Yeah. And then I finally confronted my own issues. Right. So I picked up the phone to combat stress. And they came round to my house to see me. And
combat stress, presumably really used to kind of helping people in those circumstances,
and it was actually when they told me the statistics for how many people, how many veterans and those serving have this condition or have mental health problems due to the service, it really shocked me. And I couldn't believe, because I honestly thought I was the only one. I thought I was a coward, I thought I was weak and everything like that. I thought that, which was the stigma which stopped me from picking up the phone and seeking help. But combat stress told me the figures, and that kind of inspired me, because I thought, well, if I think like that,
how many more people
out there that have these problems but won't pick up the phone, which led me to write my first novel, Shell Shock.
Tell us a bit about the book.
Shell Shock is the fictional diary of a squaddy called Tommy Atkins. Tommy Atkins obviously comes from Rudyard Kipling's poem, and during World War I it became a nickname for all British soldiers. So I thought, well, an ideal character, and it's his diary. I pitched it to the publisher as Adrian Mole meets Hard Darkness, which is what the publisher he laughed at that. He said, send it us down and we'll have a look. And then they said yes, and it's all gone from there. It came out this October.
And it takes authors sometimes like 20 years to publish, doesn't it?
It's obviously uni, because it was a creative writing course, everybody wants to be published, everybody wants to write plays or scripts or whatever. They tell you all the time how hard it is to break down that door. So I was really lucky to find a publisher. And it's just been fantastic. And it's now been adapted to a TV show.
Is it?
And they want to take it to the Edinburgh Festival as a stage play. So
has it changed your life?
Yes. Oh yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. The two things, going to university and picking up the phone to combat stress. They've changed my life for the better. And it goes to show that there is light at the end of the tunnel. PTSD or mental health in general is not the end of the world. You can not be cured, because I don't think there is a cure, but you can learn to live with it and make something of your life.
Has it made you want to try and highlight it so you can try and help other people?
Yeah, I just think because for years I was in complete denial, and I thought I was a coward, I thought I was weak, and mental midget and all the other things that, the macho scurry culture. So I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. I think the armed forces do a very difficult and dangerous job, and I was 20 when I went with 18-year-olds walking the streets of Afghanistan now, and you are exposed to a lot of horrible things. As a soldier, you see the best of people, but you see the very worst of people as well. It does have a profound effect.
And we're all human beings.
And we are all human beings. I think I'd be more worried about a person who does get exposed to these things and has no effect whatsoever. Because that's kind of carrying sociopath.
You kind of like stop feeling then, haven't you? Sometimes you have to be hurt to be human. So brilliant. So what are you working on now?
I'm working on my second novel at the minute. I've just signed a contract for that, which hopefully should be finished in the next month or so, fingers crossed.
Is that going to be just as challenging as Shell Shock?
Yes, it's going to be very different to Shell Shock. It's an actual prose fiction rather than a diary style. But it's going to be
quite hard hitting.
Profound, I think.
Profound.
Is the the right word. Hopefully, if I can pull it off.
Yeah, make people think.
Yeah, that's it. Because I think, I mean, as a writer, my first priority is to make sure that people get to the end and make it as entertaining as possible. But also, in publishing at the minute, you've got literary fiction, kind of Booker Prize, kind of serious literary stuff, and then you've got what's called genre fiction, which is your thrillers, your crime, blockbuster fiction, all that stuff. I'm of the opinion that you can have both. You can have a really entertaining and engaging story that does have something serious to say. I'll have to see if
that's like the holy grail, isn't it, to pull that off. But I think you're right, because some literature sometimes a bit intimidating to people. They think, oh, I couldn't possibly read that.
I mean, I think when you say books, people think, you know, when you say literature, it's like, you know, that's a bit too, I was like that. But it's not when you...
But you're not now?
No, definitely.
A man of letters now.
A man of letters, A dyslexic man of letters, I wonder how that's...
Fantastic. So where can people get your book?
Everywhere. Amazon, Waterstones, W.H. Smith, any bookshop will be able to order it. So yeah, Shell Shop, The Diary of Tommy Atkins, my debut novel,
The Diary of Tommy Atkins. And are we hoping to try and get the forces, maybe just to get people to read it so that...
Yeah, there's a lot of humour in there, squad of humour, so any squadders will appreciate Tommy's ranting and raving about certain things.
Well, I read it and my brother was in the army and it made me laugh and it made me cry as well, so brilliant book.
Thank you.
Thanks ever so much, Neil.
Delighted
to know him.